Design for you? What does design mean to you?
You can't spring,
Very briefly.
you can't spring a question like that. God, it's a really, I fight with the definition of design and have been doing for a long time. I'm writing a PhD at the moment, and part of it, obviously, there has to be a little bit about defining my particular discipline, which what I particularly do has become known as speculative design. So there, design is a huge umbrella term, which is I become very smart now and start referencing Wittgenstein.
Yeah. So could you then explain a bit more about speculative design, maybe?
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit easier. We all know, we have some kind of rough idea of what design is. So it's organising materials in some kind of way to create some preconceived outcome. So that can be dealing with forms and behaviour or modes of interaction and so on. And so if we take that idea, that notion of mainstream design, let's say the closest that more normal design discipline that relates to what we're doing, I suppose, would be industrial design. So that would be organising materials in such a way to create products, services that have some function. Equally, they're desirable. There's something about them that creates a desire in the marketplace and people want to buy them.
Right.
We're doing a similar kind of thing, but speculative design is speculating on the future kind of products and the future kind of services that may come about by such similar activity. But what it's doing is effectively moving design a little bit upstream. So if we think of where technology research takes place in laboratories around the world, scientists and engineers discovering things, creating new ways of doing things, there's usually quite a long process by which that ultimately feeds into the type of products that are available in the street, the high street. If we move a little bit upstream, we can look at this technology more at its emergent state and speculate on what kind of products may come about through the development and iteration of this technology. So it gives us a taster of certain technological futures. We can get a feel for what it would be like to live in these futures, because very much our role is very much about communicating what these lives may be like, either through the products themselves or video scenarios, this kind of thing. We're very much trying to, thank you very much, convey what it would be like to have such a technology, the product that comes from that technology in our lives. So it's effectively, the nicest analogy I can give is a kind of cultural litmus paper. It gives us a chance to test the water before we commit to certain applications. It's very much about questioning the role of technology, questioning what kind of futures we want for technology, looking also at implications, not just applications.
Right. Now, what do you think is the next big thing going to be in terms of design, or in terms of speculative future? What do you think is going to be the next big thing?
You'll see a couple of them in the talk. One is a 10-year-old project. We were looking very much along the lines of how human enhancement, enhancing the human body for our own benefit may come about. So these notions of post-humanism, technology entering the body. So we did an exploratory project on that theme. So literally, technology enters the body to give me some extra benefit. That could happen. We think this is essentially very dark route. So really kind of the next stage of our evolution being taken in our own hands. So it's a very, very hot subject for debate at the moment. So we did a project that was imagining how that may happen. Very many people are talking about robots. That's one of the hot topics at the moment. Bill Gates, in a 2006 article for Scientific American, suggested that the robot will be coming into the home very soon. And he was comparing the PC industry in the 1970s with the robotics industry today, and drawing analogies and suggesting that what happened to the PC, obviously there's an enormous boom in personal computers. Most people do have one in the house now. The same thing should happen to robots, was his argument. So we're very interested in exploring this notion of robots, because there are many, many stereotypes. Images of robots and applications for robots, and we think most of them are flawed. We take issue with most of of the robots that are being placed in the media, in the public domain.
Right.
So we're exploring how our future with robots may come about in a more meaningful way, to challenge the stereotypical ideas.
Right.
So there'll be a little bit about that up there, but that's a very, very new project that we're just starting at the moment.
Okay. Right.
Challenging these stereotypes.
And where do you see India in terms of design in the near future, say in 10 years down the line?
India?
Yeah. How do you see it in terms of the global scenario?
I've not spent enough time here to truly understand how India views design. I think if it embraces design, but from original perspective, I think we need to see an Indian design flavour.
Yeah.
Then it should do.
Yeah.
It should be doing extremely well. I would be a little bit upset if Indian products look just like a generic product language from anywhere in the world. And it seems to be that I was in China recently, and it seems to be they're just trying to copy many things that are happening in the West. So Japan is an interesting example, because there was a history of them pretty much copying Western products for many years. They did it with the motorcycle industry. As a vehicle designer, you may be aware of that. So the British had the leading motorcycle industry up until the 1960s. The Japanese copied them for a long, long time. You see a lot of early Japanese bikes look very similar to the British ones, but then they twisted it around and put millions of research and time into this and created their own style, their own way of building bikes, and they're very original and became world leaders. And so that is a model I would like to. It would be much more interesting for me, because it's I really don't like this global culture thing very much, where everything becomes generic, everything looks the same, culture becomes flattened out. And we see that everywhere we go, especially with fast food chains and so on. And it's I find it depressing when design goes down the same route. When there's a certain visual language and aesthetic language which becomes fashionable, and everybody wants to create something that looks like an African product. It's understandable, but it's really boring.
Right. Right. All right. Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck with the lecture today.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.